right, let's get spelling. Let me pull up my whiteboard. All right, our first word that we are going to spell together is I'm not going to tell you what it is yet. I want you to know, I want you to know the spelling rules for the word first. Okay. But it looks like this. Okay. You have to know the tap 2 rule, which you have to know for every word. If a word has if a word has a short vowel sound in it, then it can't have another vowel in the next 1 or 2 spots. If it has a long vowel sound in it, it must have a vowel in the next 1 or 2 spots. You also need to know that, I don't know if I've taught this in this way before. You know how in the warm-up we were talking about ER? Oftentimes that E is there because every syllable needs a vowel. So like in the word mother, you have moth and then Every syllable needs a vowel, so that E is being the vowel. In this word, that is going to apply. So to spell the sound in its own syllable, you need to have an ER. So ER is required. Let me word that differently. Is spelled, I'm going to write in cursive, with ER when it is in its own syllable. That's a better way to word it. Is it okay if I write in cursive? Oh, it's so messy. I just looked at my writing. Oh, that might not be a good idea. Can you guys read that? Let me know if you can't. I guess I can try to write neater, but just cursive in general. Let me know, honestly. Like April, no, you need to take your own handwriting course. Don't write in cursive unless you can clean that up. Okay. So you need to know that you need to know that is spelled with an ER when it's in its own syllable, because you need that E to be the vowel in that syllable. All right. I'm getting some people saying that, you know what? Maybe not. So ER is spelled I'll try to write neater, when it's in its own syllable. Next rule. When you have an E sound toward the end of a multi-syllable word, and there's a vowel after it, it is spelled with an I. When you have an E sound, that long E sound, toward the end of a multi-syllable word, and there's a vowel after it, you're going to spell it with an E. So E, the E sound, toward the end of a longer word is spelled with an I. Last rule. When you hear us at the end of a word, spell it OUS. At the end is spelled, no, let me change this. Us, the us sound at the end is spelled OUS. Us at the end is spelled OUS. Okay, your word is my lips are closed, impervious. Impervious, go for it. Put your word in the Q&A. Impervious. Lips are closed. Impervious. Clement, it's almost, I just need the lips closed right after the I. Impervious. Good, Sarah. Danielle, there's an in there. Right here is an So this rule applies right here. Impervious. Nice, Daryl. Good, Mia. Nice, Joseph. You guys are such good spellers. Good, Red One. Impervious. Good, Julie. Nice, Sheldon. Okay. Consonants. I, m, p, v, e, a. Spell the consonants first, you guys. You have to know how to spell the consonants so that you know how to spell the vowels. I is spelled with an I, which can make its short sound right here just fine because there are 2 consonants after it. That's the tab 2 rule. In its own syllable needs to be spelled ER. In its own syllable is spelled with an ER. The E sound toward the end of a longer word is spelled with an I. Put this in your notes too. When there is a vowel after it. So here's that E sound, impervious, toward the end of a longer word, and there's a vowel after it. I can see right there. That's why we have to dot the vowels. So we're spelling it with an I. And then us at the end is spelled O-U-S. Impervious. It only gets 1 dot because it's only 1 sound. We don't dot letters, we dot sounds. We spell sounds. So here is impervious. Now, take a look at that. I'm going to ask you to spell it in the Q&A in about 3 seconds. So go ahead and spell impervious in the Q&A. Impervious while I get the next word ready. I'm going to write the answer to impervious in the corner of my whiteboard, so don't look at it until you're done. Then check your answer. All right. Changing this one. We are going to do let me make sure I did that right. Yep. All right, for this word, we need the tab 2 rule as always. We need ibble versus ubble. They're both suffixes, so they come at the end of base words. Ibble and ubble. This one means able to, like printable is able to be printed. Washable is able to be washed. They sound different. This first sound is I, this first sound is but sometimes it can be hard to hear. So I'm going to say it really clearly. I'm going to try to say it really clearly. If you want me to say it again, let me know for your spelling of your word. Okay, here we go. Your word is reprehensible. 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 Nice, Fatima. Reprehensible. Take your time. Taryn, so there can be more than one letter in the dashes? Yes, yes. Like let's say you had a TH, that would get 1 line because it's 1 sound. Let's say you had an AI, as in rain, that would get 1 line because it's 1 sound. Or our suffix OUS, OU gets 1 line and S gets 1 line because this is one sound. You only hear the you don't hear the O. So these lines are sounds, not letters. Reprehensible. So here's rep, re, hen, si, bull. Rep, re, hen, si, bull. Sible. Reprehensible. Gorgeous, Maria. Beautiful. Well done. Nice. Nice. Good, Catherine. I'm going to give you a couple more seconds because this is a long one. You guys are doing amazing. Well done. And even if it's not perfect, who's perfect? Nobody. So no pressure, no guilt, no feeling bad, okay? You're going to spell a lot of sounds correct, and that is a win. Every single sound that you spell correctly is a win, I think, in my book. Reprehensible. Reprehensible. Oh, Imelda, I like that you knew that the S could be spelled with a C because there's an E-I-R-Y after it. Super smart. In this case, it's an S. Okay, reprehensible. Let's go syllable by syllable. Rep. Her, p. There is my consonants. I'm going to do the consonants through the whole word. Si. S, I. Nope, it's not. Rep, re, e. Now we have our s, rep, re, hen. N. Now our si, I. And then our bull. B. Oh, I forgot to teach you this. That there's an E after the L. It's called a consonant LE syllable. Consonant LE syllable. So hopefully you just saw that there is an E right there, but there has to be an E. There has to be a vowel in every syllable. So this vowel in this syllable is that silent E right there. It's called a consonant LE syllable. All right, vowels. Rep, Can that E say right there? Yes, because there are two consonants after it. We don't have to double the P. E, re. Can this E spell the E sound? Yes, because there's a vowel 1 or 2 doors down. Hen, Short, 2 consonants after it, it's perfect. I. It's short because there's 2 consonants after it. And here's that ibble, suffix, ibble. And then there's that consonant LE at the end. Rep, take a look at it because I'm going to ask you to spell it in a few seconds. Rep, re, hen, Sible, I. Reprehensible. Don't forget that consonant LE at the end. Reprehensible. Go ahead and spell it in 3, 2, 1. Reprehensible. Don't look in the corner because I'm going to write it. Don't look until you're done. Reprehensible. Go ahead and spell it in the Q&A. It was a hard one for a lot of people, Clement, not just you. But I'm anxious to see how you're spelling it now in the Q&A. I'm looking for your word, Clement. Let me see it. Reprehensible. Reprehensible. Gorgeous. There we go. Check your word. I thought I turned that sound off. Check your word against mine. A lot of you are doing this instead of this for re. So make sure that you have the R in the right spot for the re syllable. Reprehensible. Oh, Sheldon, that LE, the E goes, silent E goes at the end. And then you'll have it. You'll have it. Reprehensible. Check your word against mine. See where the error is. Fix it. And then you'll have spelt it correctly. It doesn't matter if you spell it correctly before or after you check your answer. It just matters that you understand why it's spelled the way it is and then can go, oh yeah, now I can spell it correctly. Okay? So it's just a matter of eventually you're going to know how to spell it. Before or after you see the answer, as long as you understand it, You're making progress. Next. We need tab 2. And we need the confident rule, which is I in the middle syllable gets to have another vowel in the next 1 or 2 spots if it wants. I in the middle syllable, just like right here, doesn't need 2 consonants after it. It can break the tab 2 rule. As long as it's an I, it can only be an I. Okay? And silent E. There are 6 or 7. I think there are 7 reasons why a silent E will be at the end of a word. It's never there for no reason. It always has a purpose. The most common purpose is to make the vowel 2 doors back say its name. As in cake or name or bike. The most common purpose for a silent E at the end is to make the letter 2 doors back, the vowel 2 doors back, say its name, make its long sound. So if you hear a long vowel sound toward the end of a word and there's just a consonant after it, put a silent E at the end. Your word is vindicate. 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 Nice. Good. Oh, Clement, you got the ER. You got the ER in the right order, but there's no R in this word. Vindi. You need the confident middle, the confident rule in the middle. You need an I. Clement, you need an I in the middle. Vindicate. Good. All right, consonants. V, I, N, D, I, K, A, T. I love that note. Oh, some people did. That was my fault. If you put a K here, that was my fault because they both make the same sound. So how are you supposed to know which one to use if I don't teach you? So let me teach you now. You always use a C whenever you can to make the K sound. If that's an E, I, or Y, then you can't. But that's an A. Vindicate. So you can use a C. The rule is for K, use a C whenever you can. That's the first default is a C. Now I did that A out of order, but let's go back and do the other vowels. I. Short vowel right here, just fine because there are 2 consonants after it. This I is I because of the confident rule. I in the middle syllable gets to make its short sound regardless of if there are 2 consonants after it or not. This A has to make its long sound. If it's toward the end of the word and there's just 1 consonant after it, we're just going to put a silent E right there. Now, why didn't that E get its own line? Because it's not a sound. Lines are for sounds. We spell sounds. It's silent. Okay, vindicate. I'm going to let you look at that for a minute. A second, actually. And then I'm going to have you spell it in 3, 2, 1. Vindicate. Vindicate. And then spell impervious. Impervious. And then spell reprehensible. Reprehensible. That's right, Clement. Reprehensible. Good job, you guys. Beautiful, Joseph. Look at that spelling. Would you guys look at that spelling? Julie, look at down here. Look at my words down here. It's important that you don't try to spell them in a state of anxiety. Just spell mine. Use mine for the answer, because it's important that we learn in a state of peace and calm. And so if you're not in that state, put your pencil down and just listen, or just copy mine. Your subconscious will pick it up. Just make sure you get all the letters in the right order. And then when you're ready for a challenge, don't look and see, okay, I think I've got this. And remember that every single sound you spell correctly is a win, because you are applying the rule, the patterns, and the knowledge, and you were separating each sound and spelling sounds. So you're making progress. All right, my friends, well done today. I'm proud of you. I always am. Have a wonderful rest of your night, and we'll see you on Wednesday. Bye, everybody.